It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 850. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Thank you very much for downloading and subscribing to the show. Please visit the main website at miketechshow.com. You can email questions and suggestions for show topics at miketechshow@gmail.com. Please visit my YouTube page for all the videos of the Mike Tech Show, and that's youtube.com/MichaelSmithMTS. When you go there, please hit subscribe if you haven't already. This show is brought to you by Instant House Call. If you are an IT pro or an MSP, this is the software you need for remote support. Instant House Call provides robust remote support, unattended, and on-demand remote access. Try it free by clicking on the link on my website at miketechshow.com, or just go to instanthousecall.com, use the promo code MikeTechShow for your free 15-day trial, and Instant House Call has a great new version. You are going to love all of the new features. All right. This show is also brought to you by MagnusBox. This is the best online backup service. And you're like, Mike, you always say, oh, this is the best. No, it's the best because this is what I use for all of my clients. And I've had to do recoveries where they've lost a file. And there's nothing better than a client just saying, Mike, treating me like God, like I'm godlike for recovering files that they've deleted or a folder or a directory. And you need that. And you want to become a partner. So you know what you do? Try it out first for this online backup service. You can test all the features that paying partners have in the demo. You just go to magnusbox.com and try it out. And then you will be back to sign up. And when you do sign up, use the promo code Mike Tech Show. Tell them you've seen it or heard it on the Mike Tech Show. And guess what? You get free white labeling and your first 3 months, half price from the platform fee. This is great. You can make money. If you're not reselling a reliable backup service, this should be in your repertoire of services that you provide, and it's a way to make money, and it's reliable. MagnusBox. All right. So I am back in Florida for the 97X Next Big Thing concert this weekend. My son won tickets, and even though I was back in Pennsylvania last week, we flew down early Wednesday morning, and we're now ready for the show. I have to apologize. My throat is already building up, so there's going to be multiple pauses, and I've been coughing today, and it's just like all of a sudden it keeps getting worse. So hopefully this weekend I'm going to be okay. But the I can't wait. This is all alternative music, 97X. And we were at this concert same time last year, and it was great. And can't wait for all the artists. And if you hang around in the post show, we're going to be playing some of that music that we're going to be watching live this weekend and some other things. So, all right. Tonight, simple show, couple stories from the trenches, and then some Apple Wi-Fi tips. And are technicians stealing data from clients? That's one email from Kate. And another email on the product Zulip, which I never heard of. So we're gonna talk about that. So let's get things started. I have a client who has 2 sons that they constantly get new gaming systems. Now, this latest one I signed off on a week ago or a couple weeks ago, and it's Alienware. And I've been doing that a lot. It's so much easier. They want to spend the money, you get a high-end Alienware. As a matter of fact, my youngest son bought one of these a couple years ago, or really maybe a year ago, and he got 64 gigs of RAM, a 2 terabyte fast hard drive, the latest, greatest Core i7, and, it's screaming. So his older gaming system, which isn't bad, it's actually a very nice system. The father said, hey, I need a home system. So we migrated everything to the new system and then redo the old system for the dad. And that process started really, I guess, Tuesday and continued yesterday. My son just finished them up. They're going to be picking them up tomorrow. Boy, my son, God bless him, taking care of everything while I travel and I'm down in Florida, especially for on-site. Before the show, we're texting a few things because we have an idiot company that is the multifunction printer providers for one of our clients, because we've already given them this information to set up, just scan the email on a few things. Why can't they do it? You have big brands for a multifunction printer that you're selling to some big companies, and you don't have the text to do it? I mean, we could do it. I don't know why they're not just telling us to do it. This company has now outsourced another tech company, not our client, because I think what my client is like, look, I'm paying all this money. You guys are going to configure it. So we're just hanging back, providing all the info that they need. And my son and I were reviewing everything, as we did that. We had a couple other things as we were just catching up. But it was like 6:30 and my son was like, I'm going to sleep because I got to get up at the crack of dawn tomorrow. He has a client that is going to be the first topic tonight, which is Apple Wi-Fi tips. He's going to be over to their house trying some of these things for some of the trouble that they're having. And I have a link for that. And then it's going to follow up by one of our bigger clients, the owner of an electrical company. His house, he decided he wanted the same laptop, docking station, and 3 monitors, and thought he could set it up at home himself. No. So Mike Jr. is going to be out there tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So he's got to be at a client at 8 a.m. He's going to be seeing a client at 5 that's going to be a couple hours. He's got a long, long day tomorrow. So I will man the phones as best I can and take care of things. I have an early 9 a.m. client. Again, more Apple stuff that I got to remote in and do. I got to set up remotely a new iPad and an iPhone and a Mac for all of their email. So they got some new hardware, and I can walk them through that. That's no trouble. And Instant House Call has unattended access for the Mac. So anybody, you have a Mac, Instant House Call now. It's not one of the things you put aside and say, oh, I can't do that. Well, it can. So let's see what else. We have another computer that we're waiting on the cables to be delivered tomorrow that we got to ship up to Maine. I have an attorney that we took care of in our area a few years ago, and she relocated to Maine. And her system's getting older, wants a new system. So, of course, we got Windows 11 on it, and we got everything as best we could set up. And he's going to ship the system up there. And this is what we're going to do remote. We're going to log in and run Fab's Auto Backup to an external drive on her existing computer. Make sure we grab everything. Make sure we, disable licenses that we have to. Just make sure everything we got. Then she's going to take that computer, unhook it, and she also has a triple monitor scenario. We have a lot of clients with 3 monitors. We have a client with 4 monitors. on one system. And I bet you can top that, telling me, 6 and 8 monitors. Though I've never seen a 6 or an 8. 4 has been our max. Anyway, she's got to hook up the new computer, but there's some different video cables now because this is a different system. So we had to make sure that we ordered them and they came in so we can stuff the box properly, Michael will. And he'll either ship that out tomorrow or probably Monday morning. There's no rush on this, which is great. So now it's interesting. My son today had to schedule something for it's either Monday or Wednesday next week for a client that he's an insurance broker. He needs 3 monitors, and we have a video card that he ordered, and or actually he's getting the right docking station for triple monitor because it's a Dell laptop. Then his assistant is where we got the graphics card. She's getting 3 monitors. So a few years ago, we seen everybody go 2 monitors. Now we got 3. And I mean, I'm staring at 3 here. And let me tell you, it's very annoying when I get back to Pennsylvania. When you go 3 monitors down to 2, the way you work is very different. The way I do my show right now is different, even for the layouts. 2 monitors really starts to restrict me. And I have a 4th off to the side. It's 32 inches. We won't go there. Anyway, it's interesting how many monitors everybody needs now. And I remember that happening when we went from 1 to 2. You really do get more productive with this. So now my son's got that, and he's got that down. He's really good at setting up the 3 monitors, which is, I'm so glad, because you got to be on site to get that all hooked up and configured. All right. So unable to join a Wi-Fi, the channel is in use by several other networks. That's the error that the Apple iPhone my client got. And this article that I'm going to link from macreports.com is the first link that's going to be in the show notes, and I am actually putting it in the chat for everybody right now. That screenshot that's right there is the exact error that is coming up on the phone of this husband, wife, and child, because they are 100% Mac and they're iPhones, and they're unable to join. So first you have to restart everything. That didn't do it. But here's things he's going to do. Turn the location services off and on. Okay. Turn off private Wi-Fi access. Okay. So we got that. Create a separate network. He really doesn't want to do this because if we have to create another SID, now we're talking the sink, the refrigerator. There's a lot of devices that they have on their Wi-Fi network. So what I'm thinking is maybe we leave them on that SID, which actually I have here. I have my thermostat, my Ring alarm, my Sleep Number bed. I have a few things on a separate network in my house here, as opposed to the ones when when family comes, then they're on the main network. And then I even have a private SID if there's a guest or a contractor or somebody needs something's Wi-Fi and I don't want them on the regular network. Well, that's another thing my son can do, which is set up a Wi-Fi, a SID just for the iPhones and computers. That's a possibility. Reset the network settings on the iPhone. So you go to settings, general, transfer or reset device, reset network settings, and follow the on-screen instructions. So this is one of the screens. This is one of the links that my son has printed out that he's going to try with the client. He also has a few other things he's going to try. Verizon, they have Fios. Their router, when my client called Verizon, they said there was an issue, and they said, look, we'll send you out another router. And so that could be playing into this. So That's why he's set to be there at 8 a.m. tomorrow, and this is what he's going to be doing. And let's see, I have my first phone call at 9, and I will be available to help remotely. So let's let's see what happens there. All right, let's first go to the first email for tonight. We just have 2 emails here, and this is interesting. This is an article. Computer repair technicians are stealing your data. Really? I, as a small computer support company, a small MSP, my son and myself would never, ever even consider copying or stealing someone's data. Now, we will transfer it for the client. We've backed up. I've recovered files. But to take their data? No. There's got to be some level of trust with your computer support person. And maybe this is the thing. You know, I'm going to read some of the article for you. But, you know, if you're going into Geek Squad or you're going into, Staples or one of those other places for support, yeah, I guess personal files, you got to be careful. Because you don't have that relationship with the person that's going to be looking at your data. So, you know, you got to be careful if you got porn and you got other things. So this is from Kate, this article. And before I get to it, she has a note here. I carved out a nice niche for myself, fixing problems where problems were, and not taking away any computers to work on them elsewhere. Women express their gratitude for this approach more often than men. Admittedly, small sample size. People still in the business who do not engage in this behavior can take every opportunity to let their customers and prospects know they do not engage in this behavior, which maybe that's what we do, and we assume that that's, you know, there's a trust level with us. And she continues, how they do that depends on how they relate to their customers and prospects. Everyone is different, but I can tell you stories, and I got stories also. But only because my client, I have a client. Now, you know what? We got to keep this family friendly. Let's just say the client used to go to inappropriate websites that were legal, but inappropriate, let's say. And I don't know if you remember years ago when one of the scams was this FBI warning that we found you out and you got to pay money or we're going to come and arrest you. And I get a call late one night. My client, they found me out, Mike. They caught me. They caught me browsing. I'm never going to do it again. I'm going to, it was great. I was able to remote in and kill that and run, an anti-malware, got rid of everything, and he was fine. But it was that was funny. But let me get to this article, and I'm going to make, this will be obviously in the show notes, and I'm just pasting this for everybody in the chat. So researchers of University of Guelph in Ontario, Canada, recovered logs from laptops after receiving overnight repairs from 12 computer shops. The logs showed that technicians from 6 of the locations had accessed personal data, and that 2 of those shops also copied data onto a personal device. Why? You know what? I don't have time for that. I have no interest in that. There's no data that one of my clients would have or possess that I would need a copy of. If I need something, I can get it. I don't need to get it off my client. So that's the first paragraph. Take a look at this. I want some response on this. Is this an issue? I just never even considered this an issue until receiving this link. Because it's so beyond what we would ever think of doing this. I just never gave it a thought. And I mean, once or twice might have had a client say, hey, these are private files. But let me tell you, if we do, we have an NDA agreement. Yeah. So all of my financial advisors and most of our attorneys, the clients, we have a non-disclosure agreement that is signed by me, the owner of the company, that myself and anyone representing us and working on their systems cannot share data. And we basically swear that we're not going to do that. Maybe that's the answer, Kate, which is have ready a generic NDA that your customer can look over and you both sign. And you agree that this isn't going to happen. And it puts them at ease, maybe having that. Anyway, that's one way of handling it. Before the show tonight, I was talking to Photo Ray. We were chatting. And Discord and inviting other techs that are interested in this topic could be a great future Discord meetup. And this is a great topic for something like that where I can get input from everybody. Maybe even Kate will join as the instigator of this. And it's a lot of, I would love to hear from everybody. Is this an issue? Have you ever ran into this? Is this something, do you have that chat with new techs about this? And it makes me think now do I have to have a chat if I'm going to hire another tech, to work, with my son? I don't know. It's possible. So this is just another thing we all got to deal with, and love to know your take on this. Does an NDA really protect it? No, you could break that by doing it, but if they find out, man, you just broke your NDA, and you're never going to be trusted. So just curious what everybody's doing out there. Kate, thank you so much for sharing this. I love it. So let's go to the final email of the night, and let's bring that up. This is from Chris. Really enjoy your show. I am a long-time listener. I have been using Slack for the last couple of years, but now they are charging for accessing data older than 90 days. I found that many folks have been leaving Slack and going over to Zulip, which is 100% open source software. I followed their instructions and exported my Slack information, including messages older than 90 days, and was able to import the data to the new Zulip site. Looks almost like Slack and is free. Highly recommend it. I use it at home to keep track of and take notes rather than using Evernote. Thanks again for your show. This is a chat for distributed teams and notes. Is anybody using this? Anybody using Slack and paying and ooh, now you got Zulip that you can go to. I want to know what you're using for team collaboration. I mean, we have Microsoft Teams, and my son and I use that. We probably don't use it as much as we should, but there is a pricing tab. So you have the best for light use, 10,000 messages of a search history and a file storage of up to 5 gig. That's what's free. Now, this is where they make their money. And this is the Zulip cloud. Standard is $667 per user per month. Where did they come up with that number? Anyway, that's an annual billing because billing's normally $8 a month. So what you get is an unlimited search history, storage of up to 10 gigs, message retention policies, brand Zulip with your logo, priority commercial support, and funds the Zulip open source project. So this is open source, but they do have a revenue stream. I'm always nervous of doing something on the like my company level that is open source. Got to be very careful of that, because how are they going to make money? They got to have a revenue stream. Even Evernote for the longest time, was just completely free. You can't live like that. You can't do it. Just like me, and this is where I like to stir the pot, and I know I'm going to have some consultants out there that will respond. And you know what? I want you to respond on this next comment. It's like providing all you can eat tech support for one price. I'm sorry. To me, that's not a viable business model. And I've actually told 2 people this that have went out of business. And I told them way before they went out of business, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not a sustainable model. You cannot give all you can eat, because if everybody comes and eats, you're done. You can't do it. So that's my take on free. You got to be very careful if you're going to recommend that for a company. If the licensing even allows, because remember, there are some free open source projects, and the licensing is you cannot use it in a commercial environment. This you clearly can. And I'm just interested, hey, if it's not these 2 products, what are you using for collaborating and sharing information and notes within the company? Now, I have just my son and we have all the notes and things possible in our Synchro, which is great. Now, Synchro has messaging for clients. We have not even had the chance to deploy that yet, where we can send broadcast messages to all of our clients. If there's something happening, I can type a message in one click. It pops up on every desktop that we support. That's awesome. And I have not had the opportunity that we had to do that. One company I did, when I told everybody to get out of QuickBooks and nobody listened, and we had it all set up. And so I seen all the people that were in, and I sent them a message. Please log out of QuickBooks right now. And, so that's where I've used it. I haven't used it globally for all my clients. And how many out there have lots of text where, you maybe have something different, and I could put a list together and share that on a future show. That is it for the 1st of December as we start to get close to the end of the year. The next 3 weeks, I will be back in Pennsylvania recording from Pennsylvania, and then back in Florida for the show on the 29th. And there will be a New Year's Eve show live, and I'll get online at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and we will set up the Discord channels, with the video. If you want to join in, you can just listen, be a spectator, and participate in the chat, or actually jump online, have a camera, and come on board. We had a great time last year. And if you're listening to this and you're like, Mike, this is the second time you've mentioned Discord. What is it? Discord is a free set of, I'll call it, forums. And it's free to sign up. It's interactive with all the rest of the Mike Tech Show listeners. Discord is very big. There's lots and lots of other channels that you can investigate, but we have a Mike Tech Show channel, and we got a lot of members. And sign up. The invite link is in the show notes. If you go to MikeTechShow.com, every week there is a link with the Discord. You click on that, sign up, and then go into the one room that you're allowed in and announce yourself. Introduce yourself. That's so we know you're not a bot. You're a human being. So we want to know that you're real. And then you'll get the privileges where you can then participate in all the other forums. And I guess they call them, the forums or the chat channels within our server our Discord server for the Mike Tech Show. And channels, thank you. Photo Ray in the chat just responded. So that's it. Please don't forget, support Instant House Call, Magnus Box for your backups, Auto Backup 7 Pro. Link is in the show notes every week. That's the amazing software we use all the time for transferring data from one system to another, one operating system to another. You're going to be doing a lot of upgrades to Windows 11 to new computers, right? You want to go from 10 to 11 and you want to keep all the files in the proper areas where they belong? Fabs Auto Backup. Use that link. We're an affiliate. That's it. Talk to everybody. Same time, same channel. Bye-bye, everybody.